an ornament and not a really like a focused part of the whole website. So design guideline is a blend of child-friendly, playful, but also an accessibility first design guideline. They used contrasting colors from the Heimpal palette, so we actually leveraged the previous brand, and it was a really interesting challenge. The third one, I would say, is the technical one, because here comes the technical bit. The hospital needed hundreds of pages, doctor profiles, departments, news articles, and in Framer we could deliver something like that in weeks. I think the great part of Framer is you can learn about React without knowing it, because how you think about a project like this as a designer, you will hit some walls and you will hit some scaling problems like a developer. So it's kind of the same mindset, and you need to think in components, which is like kind of the same as React. I wouldn't say that you will be a React developer overnight, but you will start to realize that you think in Figma a similar way, like how you would think when programming a React program. So it's really interesting. So the challenge was here to manage numerous subpages, news items, and it was really cool that the design and the development part was in one tool. And the CMS is being updated right now by Heimpal professionals who actually enjoy the process, which is really nice. So the key solution is transparent, user-friendly site, and the main, I would say, key benefit here is that you can reach all content within 2 or 3 clicks. And we really had to do like a more logical menu structure. The top navigation was a huge challenge to make, but it was really interesting to prototype it. One of the main part of this is the appointment and doctor finder module. It's an interactive search. The third one is the responsiveness. It was a tricky one because the target group was stressful parents on the phone. So obviously we had to come up with a, I would say, mobile first approach. I keep on saying mobile first, but I haven't started any design project on mobile actually. So we had to come up with a responsive grid system, readable fonts, and so on. But here's the bigger picture, since it's not just Heimpal case study. So what's really interesting that, as I said, Framer teaches designers how to think like a developer. You start learning React patterns, and I used to love Webflow as well, because that's another low-code technology, and Webflow taught me how to do CSS. When I'm writing the syntax, I imagine the Webflow UI today as well. And Framer is something else, because it's more like a design tool, but in case you hit a wall, you can leverage all the React components on the web, and of course ChatGPT, and you can paste the custom code component, and then you are basically done. And also this idea is currently circulating in the design space that no-code and low-code tools will replace developers. And I think it's not the case. Let me give you an analogy. I have this super shoe analogy. Like, think about running shoes. You can buy the same carbon-plated Nike Alpha Fly, like Kipchoge, but if you suck at running, you will be suck at running with these shoes on as well. But Framer is the same. Framer is also a super shoe, because design tools got much more better than it was in the Photoshop era. But in case you've put in the training, you understand like the pacing technique, the shoe becomes a weapon, so it amplifies your skills. And that's the same with Framer. So you can own the entire website process, from the strategy to design to development without a handoff, without waiting, so you can become really unstoppable. And that's why I think it's such a big improvement when it comes to designers. Not just the tools are better, but designers can start to be like more technical. And I would say that our team became much more at web design because we can think in constraints and not just like flashy UIs. And here's my design hot takes. I think designers will increasingly own the website creation process. So in my opinion, developers will focus on the heavy lifting and not marketing sides. And that designers who can prioritize shipping their ideas or even just prototyping with an AI tool can level with other senior designers, and they can shift these whole power dynamics. It's also interesting when you're a junior designer, like ChatGPT and these new tools are completely new for you, maybe even Framer. But that's the same with senior designers. They have to relearn everything again and again because the tools are changing. So I think it's really interesting how you can maybe compete with more established designers as well. So yeah, thank you for the attention. I think the future belongs to builder designers, and that's really, really exciting. Thank you, and I will have to hear your questions.
Okay, feel free to raise your hand if you would like to ask a question, and Alex will give you the microphone.
Hello, that's a great presentation, thank you. What I'd like to ask with Framer, with the same doctor thing that you had, can you have 10,000 doctors as product pages, and then a search results page, which would, for example, oncology doctors, it would have the search results page and the doctors. Would that all work with Framer?
Yeah, we have currently, I think, 1,000 CMS item when it comes to the doctors, and you can upload a CSV, and the Framer actually eats it. I think there's some manual work in case you cannot format the images, but you can upload CSVs definitely. So yeah, it would have been a tedious work without any automations.
And would that 10,000 products, would that have added a lot of cost with Framer?
I don't know. I haven't tried, but there's some hidden fees, so right, okay. you need to be aware.
Cool, thank you.
You mentioned CMS on that the Hempel guys enjoyed the CMS, but you haven't told anything about the CMS. I was just wondering, I'm that kind of guy who used to use Framer as a design tool, basically, and I'm interested in what kind of, how did the whole CMS and backend part of the project went? I mean, does Framer have a kind of customizable solution for CMS, or you had to build the whole CMS just like the website?
Actually, Framer has a built-in CMS. I think just really shortly, maybe I can show you if it's working. So basically, you can customize the CMS forms and then use those forms to your design to have the content load from there, basically. So yeah, I think I can show this. So yeah, you can see we have tons of forms here. And for instance, here's how you would upload a new doctor here. So you basically customize a form, and then you upload either a CSV or you do a manual entry. It's, I think, really convenient because Hempel's goal was to have the ability to edit the website on a daily basis and update it. And for them, it's, I think, really like surprisingly rewarding to write an update and hit the publish button, and then it's done. Like no staging, no nothing, it's done.
And just a small additional question. You mentioned that it's something around $100 to maintain the site with 2 seats. That means that you constantly basically tweaking the design. That's why you need the design seats, or that's just something else?
Yeah, there's new design updates like on a monthly basis. So we are kind of helping and babysitting the project. But there's another seat which is like Heimpal marketing, and then they can add the new content blocks in on their own. So yeah, that's why.
Basically, the kind of what we used to call like hosting price, that's basically non-existent.
Yeah, because you receive for $100 2 seats, custom domain, and
awesome.
Yeah, and all these kind of tools.
Thank you.
No worries.
Can you maybe elaborate on the team and the schedule? So how long did it take you, and what was the workflow?
Yeah, and thanks for mentioning, because obviously huge kudos for the whole ffnext team. It was, I think, 8 weeks, if I'm correct. And with this project, we did it like traditionally. So we first made the design and the design system in Figma, and then we handed over to the Framer development team. Actually, we have a Framer development team at ffnext, which is cool. Yeah, 2 people going strong, but it's still a team. So yeah, it was, I think, around 3 weeks, the branding, the design, and then the UI design and the development was running parallelly somehow, but the whole project took 8 weeks.
Thank you.
No worries. I think the last one.
Hey, thank you so much. So my question is, I've been working with Figma and Framer, and what I came across is that it has some plugins that can connect the two, like copy the Figma stuff into the Framer, but there are some limitations there. And so you just recently mentioned that there was a Framer development team. Did they have any challenges that they couldn't, like they needed to custom develop something because they weren't able to bring that over from Figma? Or
yeah, for instance, we have this not so difficult masking effect on the visuals, and we needed custom code for that. And it was like hitting up a React library and added that custom code to that certain component, and basically it was done. So you can add any like TSX file into the Framer project, and then you can like leverage it, which is crazy that you can even ask ChatGPT to write a code which controls the native UI elements for Framer, which is really powerful. Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our next presenters will be Dániel, Nyikos, co-founder of ALTWERK Studio, and Máté, Tóth, design lead and partner of ALTWERK Studio. Feel free to use.
Hi everyone, I am Dani and this is Máté, and together we run Studio ALTWERK. Before deep diving into today's topic, we would like to introduce ourselves and share a quick taste of what we do, who we are, and stuff like that. ALTWERK started when, yeah, this is a lovely image. So ALTWERK started when Bori, the girl on the left, and Dani, the guy in the middle, decided to leave the big agency world of Dentsu Aegis and to start freelance on our own projects. But after a few years of being freelancers, the workload started growing and scaling became inevitable. So we turned those projects into a studio, and at this point, Studio ALTWERK was born. This is our core team. As I mentioned, Bori and I, the co-founders. Bori is responsible for everything related to UX research, while I steer design alongside Máté, who was a design lead. But next to design, he also responsible everything related to Webflow development. And last but not least, we have Fritzi, who runs us out and as a senior UX designer. Probably most of you know that managing resources is a tricky thing, especially when it comes to a small studio like us. But fortunately, we got a network of talented friends who lets us scale up quickly when a project needs extra hands, and yeah, most of the time we need extra hands. Regarding our work, this slide gives you a little snapshot of what we do. On the branding side, we craft identities to tell stories. On the UX UI side, we turn ideas into delightful products, websites, experiences, and stuff like that. One of our flagship projects is actually our website itself, entirely built in Webflow. So yeah, our main topic is coming. Actually, Webflow, our website serves more like a playground for us, which allows us to try or play with the new Webflow updates and Webflow features, and not to mention that our website got featured on Landbook, which was a pretty cool thing for us. Up until now, I was talking mostly about who we are, what we have built, but now let's get down to the business side. Webflow gave us more than speed and flexibility. It helped us discover a shared design and development framework. But, next slide please. But, before Máté takes over the stage and starts talking about our beloved framework, there are a few challenges that we wanted to solve with the framework that I mentioned. The first one is juggling multiple projects and solo work. Of course, there are exceptions, but in a small studio, everyone wears multiple hats. Everyone approaches problems differently, but when approaches differ, collaboration can slip, consistency can disappear, and somehow we wanted to get rid of those risks. The second one is the handoff between design and Webflow development. Actually, it is a pretty tricky thing and quite hard to do it properly, but a framework with a shared token system lets us quickly adopt design tokens into Webflow, keeping things consistent and speeding up the delivery process. And the third one is deciding whether to build or adopt a framework. building in-house a custom framework is tough, expensive. Sometimes it could be time-consuming, and over time it quickly become something that we don't want to deal with. It's going to be a burden, and to be honest, nobody likes burdens. And from now on, Máté, please.
Thank you. So I'll stay near my laptop because I have to click it manually. We're a bit old school in this way. So yeah, after facing all these challenges that Dani mentioned in the previous slides, we decided to go with an existing solution. So instead of creating our own framework, we landed on Lumos, which is an existing Webflow framework created by Create26. And this framework really helped us in finding a unified way of working together and finding a bridge between design and development. And also, it's a great tool that can grow and scale with our team and help us build and ship custom-made websites fast, efficient, and high quality. So if you don't know the creator of Lumos, it's Create26. He runs a YouTube channel. His channel was a great source for us with all information. He uploads videos with insights on both Lumos and Webflow. It's a great starting point if you want to get familiar with either Webflow or Lumos. So I highly recommend his channel if you want to get up to speed. It's your best bet. So why did we choose Lumos over our own framework or any other existing solutions? Here you can see the bullet points that we put together. So it's a tested and reliable framework. It has a shared token structure. So anything that we create in Figma, we can adapt that in Webflow with lightning speed. It's responsive and accessible out of the box and has solid documentation, so we don't really have to put too much time into writing or maintaining our own documentation of framework. So here's a quick overview of all of our choices or options before making our choice on Lumos. Obviously, custom-built frameworks are the most time-consuming, even if they are really suitable for any project. And maybe our toughest choice was choosing between Lumos and Client First, that you might already know. And maybe the one thing that I want to highlight here is that Client First as maybe you know Realm library, or Realm, the AI tool itself. Its Webflow components are built on Client First, so it might have been a perfect choice for us as well. But we found that all the pre-built components that come with Realm are more of a burden than a blessing, because we found that we used the same modules over and over again, and compared to that, Lumos is more like a framework that supports custom-built and custom-designed websites. Also, it's worth mentioning that if you want to use Realm library elements, then Lumos has a tool that lets you convert all the client-first pre-built components into Lumos-compatible Webflow components. So you can just copy-paste the Realm component, the converter will convert it for you, and you can just paste it into Webflow. That easy. So let's dive deeper into the technical aspects of Lumos, starting with the Figma file. I'll show you some of the benefits that made us choose Lumos over all the other options. So first of all, it comes with RAM values built in. It's something that we really loved. Unfortunately, it's been removed since, but it still was a great feature. Here you can see that we have desktop and mobile values side by side in the variables library. And for some point, I think it's 24 pixels, they grow simultaneously or parallelly, and then the mobile size will start growing with smaller increments compared to the desktop. And this way it enables us to build responsive sizing systems easily. As you can see, font sizes and every sizing variable is built on that responsive value set of RAM values. Obviously, another benefit of this is that it directly maps into Webflow, where we only use RAM values to maintain accessibility and deliver deliver all the pixel-perfect designs in Webflow. Another great benefit is that we can build on that to create a responsive type grid. The type grid itself comes built in with the Figma file as well. If I forgot to mention, you can just easily put this Figma file into your project or your workspace and start using it out of the box. So starting with this type grid, we can easily implement all these responsive sizes into typography as well, enabling one-click or easy adaptation of desktop designs to mobile or vice versa. Also, a great thing that we love about is theming support. We don't always need light and dark modes, obviously, but we can easily implement the brand colors of our clients, making rapid prototyping even faster. And it's same brand colors on the website is something that clients always love. So it gives us a head start when we prototype. Here you can see an example in action. We can easily click between all the different color schemes that we set up for a module. So to sum up all the design benefits, beside the shared design tokens that all of our designers know and use the same way, we also have the scalable and accessible typography that comes with the Lumos Figma file. A huge benefit is the quick desktop and mobile preview, and the dev-ready tokens that we can directly map into Webflow and start adapting our designs in the Webflow builder. Here you can see the side-by-side view of Figma's and Webflow's variable tables. As you can see, the spacing is the exact same thing, so no more guessing games and no more building from scratch. Everything maps directly into Webflow. Here's a slide about the clonable. So now we dive deeper into Webflow. It's pretty self-explanatory. So you just clone it and create your own site, start using Lumos. Here's what you see when you clone it. Let me highlight some of the development features here, starting with the utility classes. So it comes with tons of pre-built classes, and it's also great for rapid prototyping. We don't really have to create our own classes or set our own CSS. It lets us add these utility classes to spacing, alignment, color, font weight, you name it, and we can move on to do more important things. Also, the documentation comes with a unified class naming system that our developers can adopt, also maintaining consistency across all of our projects and between all of our designers and developers. Another highlight, and a huge shout out to the grid tool that we have in the builder. You don't see that in Webflow by default, but in Lumos it comes built in, and it's a great little visual clue to help us see if something's off the grid or misaligned or anything like that. I really love that in Lumos. Next up, we have the Fluid Builder, which is for setting up spaces and sizing in Lumos. And what's great about it is that you can set a minimum size for the viewport and the maximum size, and between those sizes, all of your sizing and spacing values will be fluid, meaning that they don't jump or change between viewports, but keeps the proportions between all of the viewports. Here you can see it in action, going from desktop to mobile. And it's a Webflow app built by Timothy Riggs, the developer of Lumos as well. And combined with the grid tool, it's a huge win for accessibility as well. To be honest, I really hated the basic Webflow grids when I first started using it. But Lumos comes with its own grid system based on custom classes that you can see in action here. So there are preset widths for that you can use to set any item to a specific number of columns width. We have useful classes like AutoFit, so you can have as many items in a grid as you'd like, and it adapts automatically. Or we have Autofill, where you can set a specific number of columns for a grid, and it lets you set up your layout easily, whether it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even more items in it. So to sum it up, obviously the biggest win for having this Figma file and Webflow file working together is the shared token structure. So if we designed everything with a token set, we can easily adapt that from Figma to Webflow. We can use Lumos's built-in utility classes to speed up our development and maybe experiment in the browser if we'd like to. The grid system makes our grid-based designs in Figma easy to adapt in Webflow, and Lumos has great accessibility features built in. So it's another thing that Lumos helps us achieving easier. Do we have any developers in the audience? Just raise your hand if you're a developer. Okay, now close your eyes for a second because you'll be disgusted by the upcoming 2 slides. So going a bit beyond Webflow, we really like giving or taking a step further in terms of animation and motion, and we achieved that by using GSAP. Now it's freely available inside Webflow, and our workflow looks something like this. I really like prompting ChatGPT for a base for my GSAP code. And what I do is that I handle all my custom GES in Slater, which is an app for Webflow. It really eases the development because I don't have to save and publish my custom code over and over again. I just simply put it in Slater, put on save, and I can refresh my site. So in an iterative process like this, where I prompt ChatGPT, copy the code, fine-tune it myself, and then test it and iterate it, it's a huge help. And so yeah, we use it to add our custom animations. We don't really use the UI in Webflow to work with GSAP, but use custom code. And we have outputs like this. So this is a small sneak peek of our upcoming site update. Here you can see all the organic animations that adds a little bit of emotion to our designs to take it a step further. Yeah, so to sum it all up, here are our takeaways. How a shared framework in a small team can really help us deliver custom high-quality work. And instead of reading out loud all of these bullet points, the main takeaway here is that not only big companies and big teams can benefit from having a shared framework, but also the small team like ours. And that's all from our side today. Make sure to stick around after our presentations and meet us later. We're really friendly and happy to chat with you. So come and see us. Thanks. And let's hear your questions.
It's a big room.
Thanks for your presentation. I'm interested in the technical side, especially because I'm a developer. So I'm interested about the automated end-to-end testing of, for instance, the complex GSAP animations, whether it's built by AI, Copilot, or just manually crafted by me. How can I make a CI/CD flow when I'm pushing something through Webflow to GitHub or something like that?
Yeah, good
Is there
question.
some?
I don't have it,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Okay.
So I'm not a developer myself, so all that we can do to test that our code is working, that is fine, is that we test it on as much devices or as many devices as we can. So yeah, we are a bit old school. We don't use GitHub or anything like that. Yeah, that's a disappointing answer, isn't it?
Anyone else? Actually, I have one.
Yeah,
how did you come up with the name of the studio?
Yeah, that's a marketing question, so I hand over to them.
Well, that's a tough question. Probably the toughest one I'm facing with. You might recognize that there was a few images taken in Központ. So probably ALTWERK is the result of a drunk night in Központ with Bori, and we ended up with this name. Yeah, Bori.
That's nice and personal.
Yeah, and also we have an Instagram post about it, so it is worth checking.
Perfect, thank you. And I saw a hand somewhere here. Yeah.
Thanks for the presentation. I actually used client first before, and that was really tedious. It looks much better. I wanted to ask that when it comes to a new project, you start the design work with this pre-built Lumos template?
Yeah, right. Fun fact that we started using the Lumos Figma file way before adapting that to Webflow. So even if you're only working on a design, it's a great boilerplate for starting your designs in Figma because it has the variable table set up in a way that works perfectly for our team.
Thank you.
Anyone else has a question? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And our third presenter will be Simon, Head of Design of Bobcats Coding. And with that said, I'm handing over the microphone to you.
It works. Amazing. Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Gábor Suhajda, and this is a topic and talk that we worked with András Pop from Stereogram. He can't be here today, so I will be the one presenting it. And after these amazing talks, I will go and try to talk a bit about the more abstract side of AI and design and how it affects mostly agencies, but I think product companies as well. Short introduction, we are Bobcats Coding, a small digital product agency specializing in AI implementation. We really like to build MVPs, but not just that, of course. About myself, I've been working as a front-end developer, designer, somewhere in between. I'm a founder of a UX course. We did a lot of design camps, so I'm involved in many things. Currently, I'm a lead designer at Bobcats Coding, and we work hand in hand with Stereogram on a lot of projects on the design and development side as well. Let's see the context that we will talk about right now. It won't be on the meta level, the philosophical level of AI and design, although we will have a bit of theory in the beginning. it's not about the technical side of AI. We're more talking about digital product design and AI and AI tools, practical implications on our work. Let's start with the very basics, really like double diamond basics. Won't go into detail about this one, but it's important. So in the double diamond, you have the problem space and the solution space. And for a while now, we have a third diamond, so it's triple diamond, mostly for large digital products. The third one, the delivery implementation phase, is a really long thing. So based on that, I think we can kind of separate the two. So have the design done in the first two diamonds and do the implementation in the third one. Kind of fits in most of the cases if we really simplify the things down. What is interesting about that is the effort and cost side of things and projects, digital products or whatever you have. So the thing is that until just recently, we thought and preached that design is relatively cheap, while implementation, building in code, hiring developers and engineers is relatively expensive. And there's a big size difference between the two, like magnitudes. And I like to call this difference basically the original promise of design, because we preached that design is there to save you a lot of money on implementation, because with design we can make sure that we will build the right thing and we will spend our money on the developers building the right thing. So that was until AI and vibe coding tools came, which was not long ago, to be honest. And it also restructured this relationship between the effort and cost that goes into planning, design, and implementation. And maybe this is not entirely correct, but the change is something like that. So the price of implementation got a lot lower. So now the original promise is not really there, because there is nothing really to save with design, because you can build it right away with these vibe coding, vibe design tools. It happens all at once in one tool maybe. Maybe you still have a designer and a developer collaborating on these tools. Maybe you will use traditional tools as well, but it's a lot quicker and a lot cheaper. And we see that with a lot of projects. So either projects that we lost or projects that we are pitching for, like for MVP projects or prototypes, we started to build basically vibe-coded prototypes, full-fledged applications in the sales process to convince clients. And with this change in like the amount of effort and cost, I think the MVP starts to become a commodity now, like having a website or a Facebook page or something like that, because it's so cheap and easy to get there. Quality is a different question. We will talk about that as well. But first, let's go back to our lovely diamonds a bit. So what happens here with AI is that the second diamond, the solution space where you figured out how to, I don't know, structure stuff on the UI or what will be the best solution, that is no more there, because much of the solution discovery actually happens together with implementation, because with the AI tools, vibe coding, vibe design tools, you can do the two at the same step, and you will have a lot of these small diamonds in the big third diamond, and start to iterate on things, maybe parallel tracks, figure out what works best until you find the solution that you like or the client likes. And really what happens here is that what you previously did in the second diamond is now living more in the third diamond, that I like to call this new solution and delivery space altogether, which of course all the small diamonds, they all contain some design, some coding, some prompting for design, some prompting for code, planning and implementation, however you call it, and a lot of collaboration, of course, happens ideally. Not always, but I think it's best if it happens. And because of that, you can have a lot more iterations during the same amount of time or for the same cost. And this is what I think makes MVPs a commodity nowadays. Okay, moving forward, let's see a bit, look into the life of agencies, like working as designers, or like mostly designers in this case. So previously you had a workflow, something like this, as a designer, and now you have a lot shorter process in many cases. Of course, these also have their details and fine-tuning and iterations and whatnot. I think my favorite is AI cleanup. That's a good, I mean, for us it's a good thing because we can sell our workforce to do AI cleanup. So whatever the client prompted together, we have to clean that up. So that's a thing. But what's more interesting, I mean, these are somewhat cliches, but I like to get these things clear that like really this is really a cliche. Like clients are buying the solutions, not the design, not the Figma files, not the design system, or not the code, the source code, or the server, or whatever. They need solutions at the end of the day. We were even joking the other day that we should rename ourselves to Bobcats Solving instead of coding, because people are not interested in coding anymore. And yeah, clients are really tech savvy in some cases, and they know about AI and they know about these tools, so their expectations are also changing day by day. They expect more for less, and we have to keep up with that. Quality, I mentioned quality already, and this quality overhead is a really tough thing, I think. So you can have something vibe coded and vibe designed, a good enough solution relatively quickly, which is fine, but you as a designer or a coder, you know that it's not perfect. It's not quality output. So you, of course, want to sell this overhead to the client. You want to do it properly. But the question is how big is that multiplier between the two ends of the scale, and how do you convince the client that it's worth investing in? Really tough question. We don't really know the answer yet. But we're experimenting with different things. Along with that, I think it's important for coders, engineers, and designers as well to get their hands dirty in sales, and in some cases business and strategy as well, if they didn't so far, because of the quick turnarounds of projects and client communication. They have to be there in the front line and be able to argue for their own place in the system, and be able to deliver solutions and promises with AI tools or whatever tools you have at hand. And it also means that like clients can also try Lovable or Bolt or whatever, these tools. So we kind of have to convince them that we can do work with Lovable better than them, because we are the engineers, we are the designers. So the good quality output will really depend on us, even though they can build something good enough, okay, but not really quality output. So that's also a tough thing to sell to clients in some cases. To be able to do that, I think you will have to be able to evaluate projects from many aspects. And this is not design or UX, this is more like the sales and business side of the thing, but as I said, it's important. And I will show you how. So you can examine a lot of aspects of a project or a client. There are many things going on. Maybe not all of them are relevant in every case, but these are the things that will define the sophistication of the project. Of course, this sophistication is very layered. A lot of things are contained in that sophistication, but basically that is what will tell you that which approach you can take. Either an AI-first approach, where you design and build the whole solution with AI or AI tools, vibe coding and vibe design, or you maybe use for larger projects, for example, you might just use these tools in the early stages, ideation, validation, those things, but then the final solution will be built with traditional tools. Or this sophistication will tell you that in some cases that you're better off with a traditional approach, where you just use a little AI, or maybe a lot of AI for that matter, but just the design and the ideation, validation part will go with traditional methods and tools, but you will build the solution with some vibe coding tool. I think this is great maybe for websites or smaller projects, but maybe even more. And then at the bottom, we have those cases where you will continue to build a whole solution, design and build with traditional tools and methods. And this is important because, as I said, this will define how much AI you can use in your work. And this AI usage also dictates your team composition, your pricing, your timing, a lot of things. So that's why I think that this sales engineering thing, how we call it, is really important to get right. And if you love diamonds, I have more diamonds. So at the two ends of the scale, we have the classic double diamond, and on top the triple diamond with the small diamonds. I don't really have a name for that yet. Last part, design roles. Of course, this whole thing affects how designers work and how people in agencies work. And this is like design, the design side of the things, but I think it's kind of similar for engineers as well. So as a designer, you have a bunch of skills that you gathered along a long career or whatever. But with AI, what happens is that many or most of your skills become obsolete. That might sound scary, but you're not out of your job just yet, because the rest will become more and more important, a lot more important than before. And in the age of AI, and going forward, I think what will happen is you will not just be an AI designer, but you will slowly turn into this expert consultant who knows design, might know coding, but are also good in some sales contexts, business or strategy. So this is how the title of the talk comes together. So this, we think, is the evolution, how designers will survive and be able to work in the age of AI as consultants in many cases. The exact job title might remain designer or context designer or AI designer or whatever. Like that's up to you, I think. So that was the main part. Some quick takeaways. So with AI tools and also low-code, no-code tools, we see that that velocity is increasing, but also these tools on the market, they distort expectations, not just client expectations, by the way, but the expectation of professionals around what can be done in how many hours. I think the MVP is slowly becoming a commodity. We talked about that. And all these things mean that agencies and professionals need to adopt new tactics, strategies, and new skills even, maybe transition into new or different roles. And the last one is, I think, the most important that we have to keep in mind is that the good quality output is still dependent on good professionals, either designers, engineers, product managers, whoever is involved in a product or a project. It still depends on them and the good collaboration between them and the good leveraging of all these amazing tools. That was me. Thank you very much. Any questions?
I'm very interested, who are your clients that you mentioned that could use Lovable and other tools? Because from my experience, clients that I have worked with, they had totally no idea about AI tools and I don't know, maybe those different domains.
We had a client that I won't name, and it's still not a lost case, but they basically replaced most of the designers with Lovable. I think it was Lovable, right, Roland? So they said that they don't really need designers anymore because the product managers can build stuff in Lovable. They even figured out a way to deploy code coming from Lovable. So we were really we were not happy about that, not just because of losing a client, but because of other reasons, of course. But it's a thing. So basically, that was the case that prompted us starting to figure out how to react to such cases, because that was, now it was just one case, but we saw some other clients as well experimenting with Lovable, and like, instead of a detailed PRD, they built something in Lovable and sent that, okay, I thought about this would work like this is the prototype, can you build it properly? So this happens sometimes.
First of all, thank you so much for this presentation. It was really packed with like so much insights and knowledge that I think my first question would be similar, that how did you notice like your clients asking for their proposals like in a different way since AI emerged, or how do you navigate this like as the agency that you're working at? How do you navigate the negotiations or approving this
to your clients? So like how did their demands change maybe?
It's complex. I think the first sign of this was when we started to get PRDs written by AI. It might sound like it was far away from what we are talking about right now, but basically that was just 1 or 2 steps away from building the same thing with Lovable or whatever. So that started to happen after a while. And then in sales conversations, clients were explicitly asking that we should do a project with Lovable or some other vibe coding tool, not Lovable in all the cases, because they have a limited budget. They know about the capabilities of these tools. So they were looking for someone who is capable of delivering something good quality with those tools for a lot less money than it would normally cost to build that project. So that's something that like not all of our projects, of course, but that happened multiple times.
Thank you. And one more question. Like, I see that you have like a lot of experience in this field. Like, how do you personally, like, what was your journey when, you know, all the AI tools started emerging, and probably you've seen so many things change throughout your career in this field?
I don't know. I'm a relatively late adopter to everything. So, long story short, I learned everything on the job, I think, most of it. So whenever a project came where it made sense to try a new tool, I did. And then if it worked out, I continued using it and something like that. Is this a good answer?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, yeah, first of all, wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. So what really got me is your like metaphor between the planning and the implementation, and how bigger was the implementation and how it's became almost similar size. So I'm wondering, and this might be a theoretical question, but wouldn't now make sense to kind of just implement more stuff and then try out the ones that fail, or like instead of the planning part? And yeah, what do you think about that, or how do you see that currently in your work?
We have a presentation on that where we basically, like, I think it's kind of a white paper as well, or part of a white paper, but the main idea there is that with these tools and with AI, you can build around 20 times more iterations that are not just Figma prototypes, but things that you can deploy to the real world and run whatever you want, like even marketing campaigns on them, and test all 20 of these solutions if you want. And there is some mathematical formula to calculate, but the main point is that you will get a good result like 86% of times, like, which means that one of the 20 solutions will be good, like the good solution. So, and this is compared to the old times before AI and these tools, where you, for the same amount of money, you will only be able to build just one solution.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that was it. Thank you very much for the questions. We'll be around. Any closing remarks?
Thank you. It was insightful. Can I get back my last slide of my presentation? Thank you. All right, so thank you for the insightful presentations. And just a couple of heartfelt thank yous for those without we couldn't make this event. And first of them is actually Ferenc Muck. And the second one is Csaba Vörös from Create26. And the third one is Máté Tóth from ALTWERK Design Studio. And all of the UX Budapest supporters, so Alex, Judith, Shaci, and Tanya, thank you. So without you, we couldn't make this event. And if you're, okay. And if you are interested in AI and AI agents, our next meetup will be held actually within a week in the same exact place, and feel free to sign up for that event with this QR code. All right, so that's all, and let the networking begin. Thank you.